Hello, welcome to What Would That Mumsy Do? My name is Tracy. I am your host, and I just wanted to talk today about pregnancy and my personal views on what I have been dealing with, as well as what I've been using to cope with pregnancy and to cope with the emotions and feelings that come along with it. I feel like initially pregnancy was honestly, I feel like you have this initial happiness, right? Like you immediately feel like, oh my gosh, I have this unconditional love, I'm so excited. And then like you wake up and you start fucking throwing up and you're like, oh yeah, now I remember what this is like, right? So this is my second pregnancy. I had my son Harlow back in 2014. So my children are going to be 5 years apart. I remember when I was like, I feel like 10 or 11, I think that's when I like determined, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have my kids 5 years apart. And so like, it's such a trip being 26 years old, and actually like everything that I manifested is becoming my reality, like literally. But this time around, pregnancy has been completely different. Pregnancy with Harlow, I kid you not, I did not even know I was pregnant for like nearly 5 months. Like, I just remember being like in this hibernation, like being at my sister's house on Netflix and not understanding why I could not move or do anything or had any like drive or motivation to want to do anything. I feel like this time around I have like this inner motivation, like I want to do all these things, but now I'm frustrated because my body is not allowing me. So it's a complete flip-flop. With Harlow, I was capable of walking like miles every single day. I never fainted. I never felt like I was at risk of anything. Maybe it was because I was a first-time mother and I didn't know what the hell to expect. But this time around, let me rewind. A couple of months before I was pregnant with my now son, I miscarried. And it honestly broke me. I felt like this loss that I've never, ever felt before because I was attached. And when you're attached to something and that like drastically gets taken away from you, you feel like it's your fault. You play the blame game. You want to like literally determine why this happened. But after talking to so many women, this is like a normal thing. This is like 1 in every freaking 2 women, okay? And even like just confiding in my mom and my sisters have dealt with that type of loss. My mom as well. So it was like, I did not expect to get pregnant so fast after losing that baby. I honestly didn't. So this time around, I felt like I had so much anxiety, so much fear when I found out I was pregnant. I honestly didn't even know I was pregnant, and my son Harlow, like there was one day that he said, "Mommy, there's a baby in there." And just to prove him wrong, I literally went to the dollar store, got like 5 tests, and I was like, "No, Harlow, there's no way. There's no possible way I could be pregnant right now. It's literally been 3 months since I lost the baby. Like, no. And what happened? Like the first 2 tests were like immediately like, "Hey, what's up? Hello, ho, you is pregnant." And when that happened, I was just, I was like in this, it was like for the first couple months, I didn't even want to feel any type of attachment. And I hate saying that out loud, but it was like, I was so fearful. And it was polar opposite of what I felt with Harlow, because when I felt with Harlow, I just felt like, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, there's nothing going to happen. There's nothing that can go wrong. I didn't take into consideration that everything could go wrong. And so definitely this time around, I have been, I feel like walking on eggshells. I have fainted 4 times during this pregnancy already. I feel like I've knocked my face out. I'm just thankful like my teeth haven't been knocked out of my face yet. But now it's like I am like learning my body a little bit more. So I'm able to go on, long mile hikes or walks like I was doing with Harlow by myself. Definitely. And when I think about that, and I really think about my pregnancy with Harlow, it's like I was doing like 5-mile crazy ass hikes by myself. Like, I'd bring a water bottle, and like my phone had no service. Like, when I think about those things and think about like, oh my gosh, like what if I would have fainted? What if I would have freaking fainted by my damn self in the mountains? Like, it just like, it gives me anxiety freaking thinking about it. But now it's like, I cannot do those things. And it's like, I feel like I get frustrated with myself and with my body, not being able to, do all the things that my mind wants me to be capable of doing. And, I feel like now I'm nearly 5 months. I'm going to be 5 months in about a week. And I guess I'm a little bit, less anxious, but every appointment, the best example that I can say is that I can't wait to hear that heartbeat. I just can't wait to feel that, like, to just a reminder, like, hey, I'm still in here. I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm still, growing. And it's like, I feel like, every mother feels that. And I feel like every mother has that inner, like, anxiousness, worrying about their growing baby. But, I just know that after losing my other child, I have had this utter anxiousness of like, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm safe, and that I'm taking care of myself properly, and I'm making sure that I'm eating and drinking enough water, because I feel like my body can't take it at this pregnancy. My body is definitely not what it used to be. And I guess that comes with getting a little bit older and being pregnant as an older woman. I'm only 26 years old, but still, it's like I was pregnant with Harlow at 20. So I guess my mindset was a little bit different. I felt a little bit more invincible then. And now I guess, I am a firm believer in everything happening exactly the way it's supposed to. So I can genuinely say that that opened my eyes to being more self-aware, and I guess being a little bit more patient with my body, because I just don't want to, I don't want to make I don't want my child to feel my anxiousness, It's like, it's like a cycle of guilt. Like, you're worried, and then you feel guilty that you feel worried, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want my baby to feel what I'm feeling. So you're like, okay, just take a step back, take a breath, and grab your essential oils, crystals, and bathe. Like, literally, I feel like my biggest lifesaver during this pregnancy has been self-care, has been just dedicating days to myself and my body. Thankfully, my husband this time around has completely supported my decision to not work during this pregnancy. So, yes, our finances have been totally different, and it's been different to live differently. Like, with one income, it's not the same, of course it's not the same. But, we decided together that our baby was the most important thing, and that's all we wanted. I don't know, I want to get all teary-eyed and emotional about it, but like, that was the most important thing, and to have that support, like, I was just so thankful that it's like, all right, I'll take extra hours, I'll do what I got to do, because we want this baby like more than anything. So, let's get off my cry face, put my big girl panties on. All right. I always tell Harlow when he's getting teary-eyed like that, I'm like, just shake it off, man. Let's do this. Like, breathe deeply, and just shake it off, because, like I said, I don't want my baby feeling that sadness. So another thing that I always say is that we charge our phones every single day, right? We don't take into consideration that we are the most technological thing on this universe. Like, we are more intense than our cell phones. Like, we require so much more than our cell phones, but we charge our cell phones numerous times a day. But we have to stop and think, like, when do we charge ourselves, right? And I feel like with pregnancy and you physically growing another life, you need to definitely recharge yourself, recharge your soul, recharge your mind, your body. And ways that I do that are, I love candles. I'm a firm believer, oh my Lord. I'm a believer. No, I'm a believer in creating a positive space for all of your senses. I feel like once you create a peaceful foundation around you, you can ultimately like change your mood. You can change exactly how you're feeling. If if I'm feeling like I woke up and I cried my face off, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I know how to get back in control of myself when I'm feeling completely out of control. So what I do is I'll pick up my favorite candle. I'll light them. I love my incense. I have different incense that are specifically for different chakras. So I color coordinate my candles with my with the incense that I'm going to use. I'm total creepo. I swear, I'm such a psycho and OCD about that. And I surround like my bathtub with incense and beautiful things. Like I will walk outside for a couple minutes, and sometimes I'll pick flowers, or I'll just pick leaves up off the floor, like pretty things that catch my eye, a pine cone even. And I will put them around the bathtub. Sometimes the fresh flowers, I'll put them in the bathtub because I just need that little extra oomph of earth with me to recharge myself. And I feel like a big way for me to do that is with earth, fire, wind, air, like things that represent those things. I'm obviously not going to bring a tornado in my house, okay? But for me, things that represent those are, of course, my candles, my incense. My earth is my crystals or my plants that I bring around me. My airs, I have my humidifier sometimes on in there because I just want to create that wind feel without putting on a fan and blowing out my fires that I just created, and then ultimately putting myself into harm's way because I've had this ugly, nasty cough for about 2 weeks, so don't judge my life right now. But I can honestly say I feel a little bit better today, even though I have a little cough attack, whatever. And I, of course, and my water is represented by the bath water. So I will, either if I put Epsom salt sometimes in there, I always switch up my baths. I feel like switching up your baths, either putting essential oils in your baths or a bubble bath, it just ultimately makes a huge difference on my mental state. And I feel like you need to recharge yourself by getting your mental state in a total different sense. Like you need to ultimately heighten your senses and ultimately tend to all of your senses. I feel like your sense of smell really affects you. It really does. So you need to create your peaceful place. You don't have to go to a spa. You don't have to spend $500 and go and be like, okay, you know, I'm gonna go to Palm Springs because that's where I need to find some peace. Ultimately, if I invest $500 into anything, I'm gonna have anxiety after, so it's not gonna be a peaceful experience no matter where the hell I am. And that's my reality. I know that it's different for everybody, but I feel like I want to teach people ways to create their own peace, like to not think that you need to invest so much money. Like you can go to the fucking dollar store and get Epsom salt, okay, and get essential oils and just tend to yourself in ways where you do not have to feel like you're living above your means and then you are creating more anxiety because you just spent a whole bunch of money on shit. Like you don't need to do that. I just feel like during my pregnancy, I need to recharge myself. I need to recharge myself consistently because sometimes I wake up, like I remember everyone told me, oh, don't worry, your first trimester is going to be the hardest, and then your second trimester is going to be smooth sailing, okay? That has not been this pregnancy. This pregnancy, the first trimester, I felt like was smooth sailing. And my second trimester, I've been waking up and throwing up, like literally. That's the most consistent thing that's happened in my life right now. And it's crazy because everyone's like, no, that can't be. And I'm like, yeah, like, do you want me to record this every morning? Like, I promise you, like, that's what's happening. And so, and I'm not necessarily complaining, but it's just a trip. It's so crazy that, how different pregnancies are. Like, it's so crazy. And I just feel like, it is so important. It is so important for you and your growing fetus to be able to create a positive environment, no matter what shitstorm's happening, no matter how many bills you have to pay, no matter if you and your spouse are still together, no matter any of those tons of cruciating aspects that could be detrimental to you and your mind state during your pregnancy. Because the reality is our emotions and our feelings are heightened, okay? So because of these extra hormones that are going within our body, we need to make sure that we are eating properly and consistently. Like, there'll be times I wake up and I'm like, oh, I just threw up. I don't want to eat anything. And then I'm like, hold up, bitch. Yes, you need to, okay? So thank you so much for everyone that's paying attention today. I will get more in depth about my pregnancy very soon. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you guys, and don't forget to recharge you, okay? And this was what would that mumsy do? Thank you. I love you guys. Bye.